blame Jim Clyburn. That's right, I blame Jim Clyburn. I blame Jim Clyburn because it is Jim Clyburn that gave Joe Biden a pass he did not deserve. It's the Jim Clyburns who give Joe Biden a license for him and his surrogates to pretend all of a sudden him black. You know, no matter how cool I am with Asian folks, I'll never think I'm cool enough to be telling Asians what their standing is or if they have a right to quote someone like Confucius or, I don't know, a Shang Tzu or whatever the hell. Like, who am I? Who am I to do something like that? Who would give me the right to tell Asian folks from whatever, whether you're Korean or Japanese or Chinese or Taiwanese or Filipino or whatever? Who am I as a black man with no true understanding of your culture, no entry into your culture to tell you about your history, about your pain, about your burdens, about your struggles? I would never do that. But white folks do. White folks like Hillary Rosen, and they get a license to do it by people like Jim Clyburn. Clyburn, you might as well did this yourself. You put a battery pack in Joe Biden's back as if he done did so much for black folks. We know Joe. We know Joe. Hey, we know Joe when he was supporting Jim Crow. Did you know Joe then? What about Joe when he was Jim Crow Joe? What about that part? Oh, we just gonna not know Joe then. We know Joe now. We know Joe since he been with Obama. And Obama only got Joe so he could get racist white people to vote for him. Come on, Clyburn, if I know that, I know you know that. So, Jim, you sold us out, man. And, you know, unlike me not being able to say it when Obama was doing it, because at the time I was still enamored by Obama. I didn't know he was blowing smoke up my ass. But Jim Clyburn, I know. And I'm doing this in real time for you. I'm not going to wait till Joe Biden and whatever's happening with Joe Biden later on to come out and say, well, you know, Jim Clyburn was wrong. Looking back at history, I can see how Jim Clyburn really did us dirty. No, I want to do this shit in real time. I want to be able to come out right now in front of the whole world and say, you sold us out. That's what you did. And now you give these guys a mandate. You gave Joe Biden a mandate to pretend his long, disgusting, stupid, ignorant ass, condescending stories about black people was acceptable. To black people. It ain't acceptable for me to listen to Joe Biden talk about black girls touching his stinky-ass, hairy-ass legs at the pool. Do you think a black man can get away with telling that story, Jim? Can a black man get away in 2020 with telling the story of being at a pool and some white kids rubbing his hairy legs? No, he couldn't. They call him a pervert. But no, Jim Clyburn gives Joe Biden a pass. Oh, we know Joe. I know Joe. And my wife, I don't get, look, God bless you. God bless your wife. But you don't get a license to throw us under the bus with this sharecropping, supporting, segregationist, blowhard, Iraq voting, bad policy, indoctrinating, signing, creating piece of scum dirt. To the black mothers and the black grandmothers and the black men that you told go vote for Joe, did they know Joe was talking about cutting their Social Security? Did you keep it real with them, Jim? Did you tell them that's what Joe Biden was talking about? Did you admit that you tell them that? Or did you just gloss over it? Or suddenly you forget what time it is? Or suddenly you misremember? And don't tell me it was 20 years ago either. I don't care when it was. It shows a proclivity to be malleable to the establishment and go against the will of the people. As if people back in the 80s, when he said it, didn't need their Social Security. As if that wasn't a thing. As if Medicare and Medicaid weren't important to the people that were receiving it back then. So what makes it different now? What makes it different now? I blame Clyburn and all the other Clyburns. I blame Clyburn for giving Joe Biden the pass, thus putting a battery in the backs of Joe Biden to think he got license to talk when he doesn't. This woman, Hillary Rosen, thinks she got a license to tell a black woman what she can and cannot stand on, what she has a standing to do, and it goes all the way to Bloomberg, all the way up the rooter to the tutor, to those people who would gladly take a check from Bloomberg.